When you look at the NBA standings, which teams were you initially pulling for, but now you've completely given up on?
Let me tell you something. Jumped off the bandwagon and scraped my knees in the process. Ding, ding, ding. This is my stop. The Los Angeles Clippers. Rolled off. I did a tuck and roll off the bandwagon. I can't. This is season 3 for me, y'all. Where I've been saying the Clippers, oh, they got it. Oh, this is the one. This is the one. I even came into this season saying, oh, this the one. Look how deep they are. Look at them. Look at them. They ready. They ready. Kawhi gonna come back. They ready. They ready. And here we are at the end of the season, and I'm tucking and rolling off their bandwagon. I can't even do it no more. I can't do it. The lack of consistency is killing me. The lack of leadership from the player's perspective is finally getting to me. I can't stay. I can't take. Is it lack of grit? Is it lack of toughness? Is it lack of passion? What is it? But let me tell you why I had to tuck and roll myself off that bandwagon. Why? The straw that broke the camel's back for me was when Kawhi set out on March 3rd. You mean to tell me you didn't want to defend your claim against the Sacramento Kings when they one-pointed you in a win in a double overtime in the previous game against them? You didn't think that this was time to come back to redeem yourself, yet you wanted to play in the game the night before on March 2nd with Golden State Warriors. No, that's the game you sit out. You sit out that game. Mm-hmm. If you're going to show up for any game, show up for the game against the Sacramento Kings. I couldn't believe it. I said, okay, at this point, bing, bing, that's my stop. I got to get off. I was done. And then to lose again to them with 1 point. I don't know if it's Ty Lue. I don't know if it's their star players. I'm done with the Clippers for this season.
I can't believe it.
Believe it. Yeah, I know. I tried to hold on, but that last one, you don't sit out against Sacramento. That right there was the one. That's the game you had to win. That game. And you don't want to show for that one? Nah, I'm good.
I understand your frustration, but I don't share in it. Because I think the Clippers are built for a deep playoff run, but that's another video. Yeah.
Prove it. Yeah. They prove it, then I'll be on the sideline. Can I get back on? But right now, I've scraped knees, tucked and rolled, all of that. I can't. Okay. Not right now.
All right. Okay, good. Look, I gave up on this team because they gave up on themselves. The Miami Heat.
I have them too.
The Miami Heat. Anytime you lose to the Charlotte Hornets consecutively, the Charlotte Hornets are like 15th, 14th in the Eastern Conference. You should have been molly-whopping them. That tells me the Heat plays down to their competition. You can't win games like that. I gave up on the Miami Heat. You got Kyle Lowry, who has not been himself ever since he moved from the Toronto Raptors. He's played 44 games this season. He's out with a knee. We don't know if we'll ever see him again. And even when we did, he didn't look like himself. I mean, come on. I've been saying for seasons the Miami Heat's offense looks stale. And I feel bad for Udonis Haslem because he said he's losing sleep over the Heat losing games. I gave up on the Miami Heat.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. He losing sleep.
Okay, so then let me tell you what. I too am off. The Heat can light another flame for next season because the one that they lit me this season has been diminished. It's been gone, blew out, out. I can't do it. You know what? When it was a press conference or like after game discussion or whatever, they asked questions of the players, and they was talking to Jimmy Butler. And I'm paraphrasing. Jimmy Butler said, "I'm sick of losing," and I said, "And I'm sick of watching it." Yes, absolutely, Jimmy. But Jimmy Butler. I know you're tired of losing.
Yeah.
And as a fan, I'm tired of watching it. Absolutely. Yeah. And then they had the nerve. Cleveland bought out Kevin Love. The Heat had the nerve to sign him, and why he in the starting lineup? I said, "Oh, you really at this point, you pulling straws." Kevin Love, starting lineup, miss me. Can he be on the bench, deep in the bench? Yes. Can he come off for a couple of minutes? Absolutely. But to start, nah. No, sir. No, ma'am. Yeah. So the Miami Heat this season, man. Yeah, I'm out.
Oh, yeah, I'm done with them.
You know what? This hurts my heart to say. And I believe it's no fault of their own. However, I can no longer put my energy into them, and that's the New Orleans Pelicans. I know. I know. I know.
Oh
I know. No fault of their own.
man.
Now, unlike the Clippers and unlike the Heat, I know that the Pelicans, they have been plagued with injuries that have derailed their success this season, right? And I know that they're holding on tight to that number 10 spot in the Western Conference. So
Mm.
I say the Pelicans, not because I want to, but because I just have to divert my energy somewhere else. When I'm talking about deep playoff runs, who I'm going to be rooting for. And it's because Zion has been out. Brandon Ingram was out at the top of the season with an injury that he concussion protocol. He needed to kind of get together. I just think that the injuries have really plagued them, and it has um, changed the trajectory of their season. And it's with
Oh man.
reluctancy that I'm off of them for this season. Yeah,
Ooh, I just think they just need Zion back.
I agree.
And they could, contend at least in the play-in, maybe.
They're not going deep though.
All right, now this next team, the Chicago Bulls.
Yes,
I gave up on Zach LaVine and the DeMar DeRozan pairing. I mean,
it ain't
somebody got to take the back seat. And clearly, what they're doing right now is not winning ball games. It's just not working. I gave up on ever seeing Lonzo Ball as their starting point guard or even wearing a Chicago Bulls jersey ever again. I gave up
no.
on Vooch, solidifying himself as maybe the third option or a dominant big. Like I remember him being for the Orlando Magic. I gave up on that. I gave up on Billy Donovan, throwing a buyout player like Patrick Beverly ahead of Ayo Dosunmu, your young talent, the one you should be building confidence in. And you throw in Patrick Beverly for what? His defense. Okay, Ayo can give you defense. He can also give you offense, which Patrick Beverly can't do. And I gave up on the Bulls keeping Donovan past this season. I mean, something got to give. And they struggled to beat the Pistons, who were the 15th seed in the Eastern Conference. Come on.
Struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Really? Right. And I was watching the post game conference with Billy Donovan when they were giving him, answering his questions. And I was saying, oh, sir, this your last season.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
looking
no.
at him through the TV like, this it for you. This is it for you. Yeah, no, the Bulls, I'm sorry. How you go from last season being the surprising team
Mm.
in the East to this season being forgotten. What? With the same players. Explain it. Somebody drop down in the comments and explain it to me.
Coming into this season, I thought the Portland Trailblazers would at least occupy the fourth through eighth seed in the Western Conference because, they added Jeremy Grant. Most recently, they added Cam Reddish and Matisse Thybulle. I said, okay, they're going to make their push. Dame dropping 71 points. You know what? When I look at the Portland Trailblazers, they're not going to go far. They're not going to go deep. And they're just going to be good in spurts. But that's it. And I feel really bad for Chauncey Billups because, I mean, clearly what he's doing out there in Oregon is not cutting it.
It ain't it. He walked into something that just wasn't it. He almost walked into him and Silas from
Oh,
Houston. What in the world did they walk into? Timing is just bad for them, both of them in their coaching careers. It was just
yeah,
bad, right?
yeah.
I agree with you. I don't know how much longer Chauncey can stay in Portland. I'm not saying Chauncey shouldn't coach. I'm just saying stay in Portland, right? Maybe the Bulls need to consider, and maybe Chauncey would, want something new. Maybe he needs to be with the Bulls. I'm just saying, can we just now reflect back and say the Dame and CJ McCollum pairing was the one?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that fair to say?
It's very fair.
Because if you think about what they have been able to do separately, as great as the Pelicans were at the top of the season, again, their issue is not because they don't have the skill, the talent, the passion. It's because they are plagued with injuries. And CJ McCollum is still balling, right? It's just not enough. Dame and CJ together, I'm good
It's
all by
special.
myself. but I'm a force
Yeah.
when we're together. That's what they give me. And now when I think back, I'm like, no, they were a force when they were together with the Trailblazers. And now, although they're doing okay by themselves, they just was better together, I think. So yeah.
Do you think this loyalty that Dame has to the Portland Trailblazers is paying off?
Not as we speak. Not for this season. Not for this season. However, injured this season. So he did not play a full season for the Portland Trailblazers, right? Let's revisit that question again next season if he can, be as durable as he has been in the past, and then let's see what it looks like.
See, I don't buy into that because they're probably going to have the same roster. They
But
got rid of Josh Hart, though. And I think that was a key piece. And I feel like the Portland Trailblazers have put themselves in the same position that the Mavs did with Jalen Brunson. See what Brunson is doing on his new team. You see what Josh Hart is doing with the New York Knicks as well. I think the Portland Trailblazers have messed around and found out they need Josh Hart.
that video where that guy got that graph.
Oh, yeah.
And it says, I mean, I can't say that on this channel, but
yeah, I know. Messed
around and found out.
Yeah.